Hi guys, so I recently did a poll and I asked people if they wanted to see LQ Commanders revisited. So I'm coming back to Nicol Bolas Dragon, which was one of my most established decks of all time. I always come back to this when I'm feeling a bit evil. I'm sick of the normal queue and I just want dedicated Hell. Sometimes Hell queue is just always Hell queue, which is really odd because the regular queue seems like it's completely effed up, really. It's all over the place. This tech is pretty much as evil as I can get it, and it might not even look that evil at first because, to be honest, it's not really that represented in Hell queue. I think because 5 mana is quite expensive these days. The format has increased in speed massively since when I first started this game, years and years ago. And I think abilities like Bolas are fantastic and terrifying to face, but yeah, there's just a lot of faster stuff. Like Rusko is in the deck, but if you face him, that's just dedicated counter spells build. So the thing that makes this deck special is my special brew because it's got a lot of silver bullets built in. The higher part of the Hell queue we'll see a hell of a lot of attacks up in Rusko and a fair amount of ETBs that do really powerful things. So just a singular Torpor Orb, it causes a lot of headaches for those decks because they now have to dedicate a non-creature removal spell on this, and they could use that same piece of removal most likely on Bolas because people don't just run Abrades. I'm one of the very few people that seem to run Abrades. I don't really see it that often, but people just don't do it. So having Torpor Orb out will attract a counter spell or a removal spell designed for something else, and this just absolutely annihilates so many things. The Titans like Croxer, Uro, and the white-red one stops Rusko, stops Atraxa, stops Etali, all those ridiculously powerful things. And I'm not going to say it's going to win you the game instantly, but I have done before. People are facing Etali using this, and it completely shut them down. We've got some interesting cards like Stifle. People forget how many fetch lands in the format. If you counter somebody's fetch land, it could be the difference between winning or not. This also counters triggered abilities on opponents' Italis and Atraxas, so that's really nice as well. Keep that in mind. What else we've got? It's interesting. It's not dedicated control as such because you have to have your own ways to win. It's difficult to try and articulate because although we do have a lot of defensive spells, like things you might not normally see, Ashok is absolutely awesome as well. You might look at this and think, why is it in there, Josh? Well, it stops your opponent searching for fetches. Everyone uses so many fetches these days. It also gets rid of people's graveyards, which is really effective. We've got the brand new Maddening Hex added to the game. This is just ridiculous. Opponent casts an uncreature spell. It does D6 damage to them, which against opposing control decks is actually really quite insane. We've got a Boron Oculus, which is really quite insane for 3 mana. You have to exile 6 from your graveyard to get this, but it manifests every opponent's upkeep, which is just fantastic. The Confounding Conundrum stops people as well. You'll notice a lot of the things we do are trying to stop people ramping and getting extra lands out. Confounding Conundrum can do that as well. There's a lot of cheap kill spells, Shove Aside, Lightning Bolt, Cinder Cone, Smite, Fatal Push, and that's basically because the opponent Ragavan decks. So trying to prepare for every single eventuality. And we've got a single copy of Croxer. Now, bear in mind that the Torpor Orb does affect some of our cards as well. Like, it will stop the Croxer from dying, for instance, which means you're just going to get a 2-mana Croxer. It does stop the Rusko's clocks, but it doesn't stop the Terrain 1 ability. Obviously, the timing is important as well. You don't really want to go for Torpor Orb before the Rusko unless you're desperate. You can always play Rusko and then play the Torpor Orb, so then you get your ETBs. It's a very complicated deck, and that's what some Hell Q decks are. This isn't just your simple, mono blue Brawl counter spell deck, which is just kind of mindless and boring. There's a lot of moving pieces. It's tricky to pilot, to be perfectly honest. And then you've also got Bolas, a Citadel plus Aether Flux, which goes together like just my favourite thing ever. Combine it with Ashok, you're not losing any life now for playing spells on top of your deck. Combine it with Professor Onyx, and now you're draining 2 for every spell you cast on top of the deck, and then you're getting some back. It's just awesome. There's so many play patterns here. You've got Shieldred. We don't use the One Ring because this is going to sound really crazy. I think the One Ring is a little bit too slow. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's 5 mana to draw a card. And if your opponent has a counter spell or an exile removal effect, then it doesn't really do anything. And yes, I know it's one of the best cards of all time, but for this particular deck, it doesn't fit. I'd rather just drop Nicol Bolas with +1 ramp to get him on turn 4 rather than the One Ring. And yeah, you have to be quite careful against opponents' Riz Rebukes and Cyclonic Rifts. It didn't happen that much, but it will remove a lot of your pieces. So we have a lot of interesting little pieces that kind of set up and build up to this amazing game state. Games can go really long as well because sometimes you need to stabilize it. It's just not happening. So yeah, I hope you enjoy this. As I said, this was after a poll that an overwhelming majority, in fact, it's like 90% of people want to see me revisiting Hell Q. And I know a lot of these videos exist already, but I don't know, it feels counterintuitive, right? I usually make videos about the new commanders, but if the set's not performing very well, then people don't want to see them, and the viewership has been pretty low for them, weirdly enough, apart from a few weird outliers in the vanilla commanders. But if this is what you want to see, then I'll just weave a few of these Hell Q guys in, and maybe it's the most chess-like component of Magic, playing Hell Q, because people do like the complicated stuff, but we'll have to see. I don't know. Hell Q is a very different kettle of fish, and yeah, I still hope you enjoy. If you want to support the channel in any way, check out the description box. Donate via Ko-fi, one-off amount, or donate via Patreon. That's monthly, but then you get some awesome extra bits like being able to join the Discord server and also being able to get your own custom video. So I hope you enjoyed today's video, and tell me which Hell Commander is your favourite in the comments. Thank you. So this hand is pretty sus. We don't have a blue source, and we've got Mana Drain in our hand. But I want to keep it anyway, because anything with the Dark Ritual and opening hand is normally pretty good. I want to get a natural blue source next. So Shipwreck Marsh is actually pretty good to get for our first draw. If they do Dark Ritual into Rusko on turn 2, which is very common these days. Okay. Another swamp. Okay, well, we do have the removal. I used to really fear Rusko, and it's still a really powerful card, but that's just how scary Power Creep is nowadays, where there's always something stronger. Mind Stone. So it looks like they're ramping into something else. Arena, that's very good in another slow game. So we can actually... we can go for Bolas here. They probably have a kill spell. Is that worth the risk? Let's just go for Cold Steel Heart, I think. Because then it means we can get extra blue next turn. And also, we can go for Citadel next turn. But the last thing I really want to do is play Bolas, draw a card, they lose something, then they just kill Bolas, right? And then that feels bad, because Bolas is now 7 mana. 4, 5, 6. So they're going to go Rusko, and they do have mana up. Which is scary. Got 3 mana up, and they're going to be drawing consistently with Ferocious Arena and draining us with the Rusko. Oh dear. That's a tricky one. So what I might do is... so we've got 3 mana up. And we could just try and kill it, and then back up with a Mana Drain. I definitely don't want to go for the Citadel this turn. It's too risky. Yeah, so I'm just going to pass to them. And the reason we do this is there's a couple of things. Firstly, we want to basically use up the mana in their turn, because then it frees up mana for us. Them drawing 2 cards a turn is just wild. They've got so much mana now. 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, so let's try and kill him. And if they protect him in any way or whatever, we can try to Mana Drain. And if they stop the Mana Drain, then in theory it does mean that in our turn we have a lot more free reign to do what we want to do, which is Bolas' Citadel basically. And if we can protect Citadel with the Mana Drain, then it's pretty insane. So they use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They might even want to use Counterspell here, but then I'll try and Mana Drain it. Killing Rusko is so important because the drain... this is why it's so broken. The drain is what is actually insane. Because he's just a 3-3, but every time you cast on-creep spells, which is pretty much all of these decks, they will just legit kill you without even having to attack you, which feels really bad. So many mind games when you're facing Rusko. Do they have a counter spell for this? Extra turns of Rusko is so rough. Mystical Dispute as well. Unless its controller pays 3. Well, we have 3 to pay. That was worth discarding that to stop that happening, I have to say. Oh boy. We actually get 5 mana as well. That's really crazy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And Aether Flux. Holy crap. That was really unlucky. That was so unlucky. It's whenever you just hit a land on top. Oh boy. So, you know, if they have the removal speed of the pieces they have, yeah, it's such a shame we have the freaking combo, but we've got an extra land on top. It does happen when you don't have a way to kind of get rid of the stuff. If they have something like a River's Rebuke or a way to bounce all the stuff, that's going to be the worst. Manually tapping stuff, it feels so like last 10 years ago. You don't need to manually tap, just float the spell and see where it's going. Most of the time, it's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4 mana up. Oh, God. Thought they held priority for something there. Black Market Connections. Okay. Gain life, lose life. Gain life, lose life. Awesome. Duress is wonderful. Cards like Duress is literally one of the best things to have against control. Because it uses up a counter spell. There you go. There's a mana drain. So now we just play spells on top of spells on top of spells. And they're going to get absolutely drowned. I love doing this against Rusko players because it's just they deserve it, to be honest. Bit of Triumph as well. Absolutely incredible card. In this scenario, we're just going to discard a card from our hand because we don't need extra lands. And if they counter that, we've got Toxic Deluge. I don't really care about losing Malcolm. Oh, look at that. Opt-in. So we're getting rid of all the cards in hand. It's absolutely awesome. These are the kind of games I'm really proud of capturing because it just shows how long-winded it can be to take out a Rusko. I don't want them to use a counter spell or something because then it means it just gets rid of cards in their hand. Nice, that's fantastic. God, if we have a Rusko, then it just becomes insane. Kill the arena. Oh my goodness, Brotherhood's End. That kills all of their rocks. If they... Right, so this is going to seem really weird. Let's play a decoy spell. So somehow, Nicol Bolas is a decoy spell. And I'm saying that because they have... There we go. There we go. That's exactly what I wanted to see. And there's a reason for that. Because if I cast this off the top, the wash away hits it for 1 blue. But now, they're absolutely effed. See you later. Now we're talking. Now we're talking. Yes! Brother's End is the end of Rusko decks. Yeah, put this in your decks if you haven't already. So all artifacts with mana value 3 or less. Almost every Rusko player you see, we use Flicker, Blink, lots of rocks. We just killed 4 of his rocks. There ain't no way he's going to cast Rusko for a while there. That feels exquisite. Right, I've already mulliganed, so I'm going to keep this. It's not the best looking hand. It's okay. Language is too slow. We want to hit some lands on top. I mean, we do have Kill Spell with Blackcleave Cliffs, Lonely End. And, okay, we get a land. I think we're just going to kill it here. Because we drew a land. If we didn't draw a land, I would have risked playing the Cold Steel Heart and then passing. They would have got 1 hit. But then they would be at 3 mana, which is just not great to see. But yeah, next turn, Swamp, Cold Steel Heart on blue. And we'll see where we go. Winter Moon. We only want to tap 1 of these. Okay. That is going to be pretty irritating. Okay. So, yeah, we need rocks. And I think Winter Moon is going to be pretty obnoxious here. So just going to straight up play it. Ragavan. Right, we'll pass. They're going to get a hit, a mana, and maybe a powerful spell, but we'll see what they do. They get House Mound. Okay, cool. Utterly useless against us right now. Winter Moon's a very powerful tech. Are they going to do anything at all? But yeah, it's really going to slow us down because we could have actually played Ragavan there if this wasn't around. We could have even played the Shieldred. But maybe, I think Shieldred... Ironically, Shieldred early game isn't very good because they have higher chance of double spelling this to kill this. I think late game when they've exhausted all their spells, if we can even get to that point, I think the Shieldred's going to be a lot stronger. Stinging back terror. Okay. Mana drain it is. Pretty lucky because that's, what is that, 4 mana? You didn't want to stick around then? Any more than that? Bit weird. Happy to F me up. I'll play 1 spell. Oh, mate. Also, just so you know, dude, Bolas is 5 coloured mana, and mana drain only gives you colourless, so there's no need to quit there. So something I do a lot more in Hell Queue, which I don't do in normal queue because I don't think it's that serious. Always take a look at the commander you're going to face, and always try and have something in your hand that can deal with it. In this case, opponent's going first, and we have Shove Aside, which means we can kill it in their turn, which is going to be really good. So this hand is actually decent. 2 lands, 1 rock. So I feel like the commentary might be a bit more granular with the Hell Queue stuff, but we'll just see how it goes. Ragavan players sometimes quit as soon as you kill the Ragavan one time. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. If you want to start to play it, let's flash. Show to stop them from dashing it in their turn here. I will just kill it because it means they get to combat first, and now they can't dash in to get an extra treasure. I'm not saying that we're guaranteed going to win here, but being able to do moves smartly like that does buy you time. Robber of the Rich comes down as well, and we've got the removal for him too. Let's just get rid of any... I mean, we're going to take... So I think this one we take 2, but we would take 2 if it smacked us anyway. Also, the fact they played that main 2 is interesting when it has haste, unless that was all they had. Chandra. So the Brotherhood End...
Without the sun, I'll light your way.
Does deal 3 to each creature and walker.
Give a toast?
Okay.
I'd love to.
So we're just ramping now. I'm going to just leave that land on top because if they do dash the Ragavan in, that's what they're going to get. And we have the 5th land anyway. So yeah, we can pressure the Chandra with the Bolas. We'll see what they do. Ideal scenario here, they play a couple of smaller creatures and the Brotherhood End's going to get some pretty good hits. Rahilda, okay. Just straight up play Ragavan. Sword of Fire and Ice. Ugh. Right, okay. That's annoying. What's the ultimate? -7. Yeah, let's just do this for now. Annoyingly, they're going to have protection from red and blue, which is the colours of all of our... Well, the Extinction Event can hit it, I suppose. Yeah, they're getting some annoying things that we're going to struggle to deal with. Chandra... The thing is, this ultimate isn't even that scary. What is it? Exile top 5, you may cast red spells. Bloody blah, okay. Chain Whirler with the sword is kind of irritating because we have to kind of use the Extinction Event now. Ugh. Don't like that at all. What have they got in their hand? 4 damage. Okay. 6. Let's just get rid of this guy. Stop them attacking at all costs. So, as I said on the deck tech, it's very defensive. Although, you know, red going first is already going to make anyone defensive, right? Sword goes on there again. So we could use this to just destroy all the rocks, which is a bit of a shame. So what is she on? She's on 7. Exile for top 5. You may cast red spells. You get them. Whenever you cast a red spell, deals X damage or X amount of mana value. Okay. I think we just kill the Chandra. Annoying as it is.
Will resonate defiance.
Yeah. Whenever someone gets that one sword that's perfect against your deck, it does feel a bit sad. Because it's kind of like... It's just difficult to come back from when someone has protection. Frostbite. So this does 2 damage anyway. Yeah, I guess we'll just let them have that. Because they can always attack us for 4 and then... Interesting. They're not going to go for the Ragavan. The card advantage from SoFi is very annoying, especially when we're at 12 and they've got... Red doesn't really draw very well. Okay. Yeah, if it wasn't for that sword, I feel as though we would have pretty good advantage here. So they're going to discard removal for a random heist, and I feel like heist always gives him something good. We've used how many board wipes? 1. Ooh, Dark Intimations. 3, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's an exile. They've got nothing in hand. We're 1 mana off doing cool things, aren't we? That's a real shame. And if we do that, it means that we lose our mana rock as well. How the heck do we get around this? I honestly do not know. The issue here is that they just keep playing creature after creature, and there's no way for us to keep up. I could have ticked up, but then they would have had 6 back to killing Bolas again. I'm trying to get a sequence where I can kill the sword and then use Brotherhood's End, but I feel like it's just too difficult to get that off. 4 mana up. And they're going to cast the Ragavan for regular. And we're going to take 7. God damn it. Oh, 9 actually. Yeah. That's a real shame. I don't think there was a... This is exactly why Nicol Bolas is tricky to use, because it's 5 mana to kill one thing, and they're just kicking our ass with their sword. Yeah, I think we're basically dead. Oh, and it was dashed as well, which makes it even worse. And, yeah, I think that's pretty much game. We're down to 3. As we kill this satyr, make him sack the Anax, but then they get a they get a 1/1 back. They also have dash. They also have our Liliana, Professor Onyx. So yeah, that's a shame. The sword won in the game. It did so much extra damage. Oh, hang on a sec. Pact. Yeah, and they have 2 satyrs. Wow, that's such a good card against us, isn't it? Yeah, it just makes so many replacements. They don't even need to equip the sword. I've literally tapped out, bro. Okay, cool. Well, that's the power of Ragavan for you. Pretty difficult matchup. Okay, facing a nightmare deck, Deravi. This is hell incarnate. And because you can always cast it for 3 mana flash. Oh, it's absurd. Let's see. It used to be Banding Commander. But that is literally meaningless in this format. And also, Wanderess. I'm trying to think why he'd quit. Because normally, in my opinion, Duress only gets non-creatures. Now, normally, a Green X decks have, like, Birds of Paradise, Manor Elves, Arboreal Grazer. So Duress wouldn't have stopped him getting a turn 2 Derovi. Interesting. I'd love to have known what he had there to quit. I don't think against a Green X deck that Duress is even that bad, because they should have loads of mana dorks. Very strange quit. Anyway, let's move on. Opponent goes first with Ersica. It's so weird to see all these old things again. Old commanders that used to be everywhere. Now they're behind Hellcube Gate. Mishra's Bauble. You can tell someone just sweat when they use that. Ask me the question. Ask me why. It's because it thins out your deck. 0 mana. Draws your card. Gives you information. And it means you're 1 card closer to drawing another card you want. But it's just... I just feel like I'd rather play a cool card. To be honest. You're going to counter this? I mean, it is what it is. Like, it gets a count out of the hand. Oh, I really like my hand here. This is just really good. 40 lands are so important. If you have a high mana value commander, you need to have 40-ish or more lands in your deck, just because it means you draw them as much as you can. Great Ornamency, Shroud. Other enchantments have Shroud. Okay, that's irritating. And this player is savvy because they didn't crack it in their turn. Some people still crack the land in the same turn when they see Confounding Conundrum, which is really stupid, but yeah. Okay, so Great Ornamency is going to make the game interesting because it means that I cannot target the bridge. I mean, I don't actually have anything to target with anyway, but we also have... Black has a surprising amount of cards that can deal with enchantments nowadays, like Invoke Despair, Feed the Swarm, Follow, so and so. That won't even be a conversation in 10 years. But I'll tell you this, 10 years ago, I used to play Commander a hell of a lot in public, and there was really not as many ways to deal with enchantments, and it was really difficult to do that. So the cool thing is, if they counter Malcolm, we can actually get about with the Kerrigan's command a bit later on. It gives us a little bit more scope rather than just, make them discard. I'm going to do that in their turn. Why did they do that there? They can't play this until the turn after, when you foretell. Lonely and... Let's go in for an attack. It's unlikely that I want to mana drain a kill spell going at Malcolm, but we'll see. Land. Just got the mountain. That's less versatile. And we will pass. So this is what they fetch. Oh, I really wanted to slip up with this. Use escape shift. I've seen people do that before, Had to sound someone use escape shift. No, it wasn't escape shift. It was something that put loads of lands into play. It was quite funny. How have they got all 4 surveil lands out? That's crazy. How many fetchers? 2 fetchers into 4 surveil lands. That is a bit weird. So they do go for the Essica, then yes, 100% I'm going to go for mana drain here. 5 surveil lands in a row. I don't think I have ever seen this in my entire life. Is that a royal flush or something? I don't play poker. Was it 5 of a kind? I don't know. 5 of a kind royal flush? Somebody out there knows. Let's use this. I just want to do something. Just tickle them a bit. Let's see if there's any priority given when we do this. If there is, that could be a counter spell. Just get rid of a card. Veil of Summer. Okay. Interesting. I mean, they use a Veil of Summer for that. River's Rebuke. Oh my goodness. We'll get rid of Lonely End. Okay. Well, maybe they're trying to go for a turn where they can have Bridge and Protection, but surely that would have been the turn to keep the Veil of Summer then. Because that would have... That's so bizarre. That would have also stopped the mana drain. I feel like stopping a Kerrigan's command is very meh. Meh. If I was to give that move a star rating out of 10, it would be 2. They basically discarded Veil of Summer. So they cycled Veil of Summer to counter 2 damage. I guess that's the move. Maybe. Just play your goddamn thing, man. If this is what I don't get as well. Like, if you're using Essica Bridge, you know you're going to be facing control builds and powerful decks. So just, you should be trained up, man. I don't... Anyone at this level with these lands and these rares, because if you don't know how the algorithm works, by the way, you're matched against people with a similar amount of rare and mythic wild cards to you. I've got shitloads in this deck. They have as well. Destroy all creatures. Sure. That was a very big board wipe for a small little dude. 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So this is going to be the interesting part. Is if they stop our mana drain, they're going to draw 2, and they don't see that very often. You see, if we use mana drain on this and they stop it for any reason, we just rebuke it, especially buy ourselves a little bit of a turn there. It's a real shame they have Greater Oromancy, because if this was the only enchantment, then it means that the Invoke Despair would would actually get this, but they've got basically a backup enchantment, which is pretty annoying, to be fair. Stifle. Right, let's try Bolas with Mana Drain up here. I just want to do something. It's so boring playing around enemy cat. That's exactly what they're doing. They're so terrified. Counterspell. Okay, we'll try and counterspell with counterspell. Because, as I said, if this counterspell war doesn't go in my favour, we have the Rebuke to stop them in the following turn. So they were really adamant on getting that counterspell in. Some people are so... Like, this is the thing, right? Prismatic Bridge is a deck that cares about being proactive, but it's just unusual that some people are so desperate to counter your thing and just forget exactly what their game plan was. I think that's definitely a mistake I see in a lot of people. They see counterspells, and then their entire game plan kind of revolves around stopping your opponent doing things. Because if he had just done this earlier, I don't know, I just feel like Inquisition, so that gets Stifle or Duress. Probably the Duress. So they know they're in trouble. They can only get rid of these two, because this is why I'm not a massive fan of Inquisition and Kozilek. It only gets a small spell, which, granted, we do have. But wouldn't they just rather have gotten rid of any of these cards, aka River's Rebuke? Stifle? Well, that's not something I was ready to... So why don't they care about Duress? That's really weird.
Weak minds crumble.
Right, so it's just that. So yeah, 100% going to Rebuke. Okay. Right. So, on paper, or on digital, should I say, we've bought ourselves a turn. Because I don't know what it is about Prismatic Bridge, but whenever an opponent seems to use this, they always get some crazy thing out with it. Great Oromancy. Okay, Torpor Orb, that could be good. Let's reduce the number of things we have to work around with. So this gets a Planeswalker. Right, let's just use it, because I kind of just want to get the quadruple black cards out of the way here. Oromancy, obviously. Okay, well, the good news is we have a way to kill a Planeswalker, which I feel like they probably are going to have with the Prismatic Bridge. Worst case scenario, I mean, I'm not really sure. They could get something awful like a Mana Dork. Okay, that was the worst case scenario, really. But they only have 11 life. Right, let's kill... actually, let's see that. Let's see that. I want to say that for Planeswalker. Let's use the Grasp here. So 7 cards is very, very bad. They are on 4. Oh, Grizzlebrand. I feel like they've crafted their deck in a way that only has really high-end stuff. Nyx Bloom Ancient, so they've got 8. How much is that? Quadruple? No, 6. Oh, an extra turn. I'm kind of annoyed about that. Extra turn. And a Vorinclex. Okay. They've got so much mana they can do. They've got so much mana. Oh, I think we're screwed. How did we get to this position? Because Grizzlebrand. So broken. But yeah, if there's anything I can say about these two decks is Prismatic Bridge is a cheaty deck because it puts stuff into play that they don't really deserve to have. Whereas our deck is more fair, believe it or not. We're getting rid of that. Huh? How peculiar. So how much mana do they have? Add 1. So it's +1 times 3. So each land is 6. Right. They got all these cards from Grizzlebrand. That's ridiculous. Like, okay, benefit the doubt. You got 7 cards. All right, cool. Some of them are going to be bad and not just going to obliterate me. No. Apparently, every single card he drew either kills something, gains an extra turn, removes something from a hand, gives them even more cards, doubles their mana, or halves mine. Mental. But yeah, that's Hellkey for you. There's no creator you would ever find on YouTube that played every single Hellkey game and won a huge majority. It's really hard. It's the hardest place to be. It's called Hellkey for a reason. But yeah, Nyx Bloom Ancient has made it so it's, oh my god, target creature. That's such a shame. So if I can find a lightning bolt, I could win. So these don't untap. So yeah, this is the last chance I have here now. And they're just looking for what reason? So 3 times. Yeah, 2 times. I mean, if they counted this, then we've just lost. But they got so lucky, and I don't feel like. I think the difference between our decks here is that I probably have more skill than them because they're just slamming stuff into play and just getting more casts. Like anyone can win with a machine gun. That's what I'm saying. Right. It has to be a kill spell or shock or... No. Okay. Cool. Yeah, if only this was a shock. If this was actually a shock, we would have won. Cool. Okay. Damn it. Felt like we had that. Felt like we had that, guys. What a shame. Oh my goodness. Look at this hand. Niv Reborn. Duress in our starting hand. Are they going to quit? Maybe. That was a land. And they've only got this elf. Oh my goodness. Imagine they didn't have the elf. Toss me. Don't tell the elf. So they got green and something for legends mana. Let's see if they top deck that. That is ridiculous. Okay. As if. And they've got binding as well. That's wild, that is. That is actually quite crazy that they top deck that. Let's just kill this. I kind of gobsmacked that they got all this stuff. Okay. And a Croxer. Not too bothered about that. Because I'm going to discard the Maddening Hex. I've not got the double red. I'm really annoyed about this binding though. Because it's going to kill my shot. You know what? Let's just play this out. And then if they use binding, they can binding the Shieldred, right? And then get that out of their system. Because they're going to use it either way. So let's let them use it. Right. And they got a land as well. Ugh, gross. Tell you what. I'll tell you what we'll do. This is cheeky. How many cards in here? Ugh, they're getting close to being able to play Croxer. They're going to get a Forest. Oh, everything of theirs just does stuff to help them get the Niv. Oh, Niv's annoying. Right. Who knows what removal they have? Who knows? Let's just see how we do. Part of me wishes that I used Invoke Despair previously. Maybe that would have been better. At least we got a land. So we can use Invoke Despair on this turn if they do anything. So we've got 2 Triomes, Shock, and a basic. Congrats, Rampage. Come on, man. Okay. Okay. 3. 7. So the cool thing here is the Ashiok actually gets rid of their Titan and it stops them fetching. They can't do it anymore. That was actually, it feels pretty nice. They're probably just going to top take a basic now, aren't they? It's going to be the perfect basic. Bank job. Okay, Road to Spare can actually get rid of that. And they got a land as well. That's irritating. Bank job. So, Seville land, please. They're going to draw so many cards. Lands, we just need lands, basically. I don't want to use Road to Spare yet. I want to get at least 2 hits with that. Now, they've got such a small field. They're going to have to start getting rid of good cards. Where's my mouse gone? Okay. My goodness, just non-lands on top there. 4 non-lands. That always seems to be the case, you know, when someone's facing powerful decks late game. They just always draw hits. Do they have all the colours they need? They've got white, blue, black. I guess. Okay. Let's just cross our fingers. Nothing too crazy. Although 10 is a hell of a lot. Helix. Okay. So, Despair's going to be excellent because it gets with these 2 things here. It's just Titans everywhere, isn't it? Okay. This is going to be pretty awesome, I have to say. Oh, Castle Lock's the Wade as well.
You have no
And another way to stop their lands. Everything stops their lands. Excellent. And stops their Titans.
Your final terror.
And you know what? Here's a crazy thing. If they do anything good Titan-wise, we can get a copy of it or just exile it. If they do give for Niv again, we can copy it. Basically turns it into a enchantment. It's very difficult. Niv is a tough. I mean, they're all tough, let's be honest. Molten Collapse.
conceivable.
Interesting. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We can go for Bolas again. But they do have Dovin's Veto, that's the only issue. Let's go for Ral. Feel free to use Dovin's Veto. Okay, they did. Annoying that they got that, to be honest. But, oh well. World Tree, that's good. World Tree going is really great. It just... Look at all the arts and stuff they got. What the hell? How much money have they put into this? It's crazy. I mean, yeah, I've put a lot, I suppose, into mine over the years, but I've just grinded mostly. People always say, oh, I don't have the world cards. Well, I don't really. I don't make that much money, you know. Most of mine is through grinding and playing naturally. 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so they don't like us having that Ashok. Shove aside. Okay.
This has been a night.
5, Uro. Uro has, sorry. Our Ashok actually did quite a bit on him, you know, getting rid of a lot of their good stuff. Abhorrent Oculus, that's actually pretty good. I want to go for Bolas first.
Will remake the multiverse.
See, the cool thing here as well is that they can play the Niv, but it means they have to spend the whole turn doing it, and they can't also play some of the stuff from the hand the same turn. So they're probably waiting for them to get more mana, but the Bolas +1 is kind of slowing them down a fair bit. So they still have 1 mana up, but here's the crux of it. If Reborn only gives you 2 mana cards, most of them, there's a few hybrid 1 mana ones, will give you... oh, it's got haste as well. Oh, it's got haste because of the...
Will return one day.
Oh, you son of a bitch. That is cheeky. Right, we're going to get a Niv. Did we get any hits? Oh, wow. We should get 2 hits. Actually pretty good. We might as well play it then. It's a shame we can't really do much else with our mana, but... We have essentially gotten rid of their Bolas for now. So I keep saying Bolas. Niv. quite an epic game. We both have a lot of cards. They've got so much removal. They can clear our whole field, really. Everything they've got is just removal. Okay, so they're going to kill their own Niv, interestingly enough. They dedicated a whole turn in doing that. Interesting. They're keeping up the invert polarity to steal a spell, I suppose. That's my baby, if you can hear that, by the way. She's in the next room. They got so many cards off that last hit. It's kind of crazy. Psychic Frog. So they can discard cards to put counters on it. Exile 3 cards from your graveyard. It gets flying until end of turn. Okay. That's 3 damage. Do they want to protect that or not? Let's see what they're willing to do here. They'd have to discard 2 cards to keep it alive. Okay. Invert polarity. That's going to come down at some point. No? Wait, how much mana have they got here? 1. Oh, they've only got 2, haven't they? Don't let her in. She's trying to come in. Maybe this is a good time to go for the Crux. So they've got no board wipes, have they? We do both 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh dear. She okay? Oh. Why did you drop her there? Okay, so they've finally got rid of the invert polarity. They've got no board wipes, I don't think. Let's play yet another creature. I can't see one. Unless this final card is a board wipe, then I'm going to be really, really sad. But they might be in trouble. I mean, they're not quitting yet. Because they've got the Revels with Titans on backup, so... I mean, yeah, they have a board wipe. That would really be bad, but... I'm really happy that invert polarity's gone, and annoyingly, my Titans helped their Titans come out. It's almost like anti-synergy there. We kind of have... Like, the Extinction Event is actually going to be awesome versus their Titans. Oh, yeah, it's weird. This is turning into like a Titan matchup here. We've got quite the opposing force. 5/5 flyer, 6/6 ground troop, drains on attack. They're thinking about dreadboring one of them. Okay. And they're probably going to get this Titan out to kill Rusko, I reckon. But they didn't go for the Rebels. That's interesting. Oh, they're going to go for 3 here. Oh, they're going to attack in and just kill it off. Okay. Guess I'll just save the... Yeah, that 6 damage haste is kind of ridiculous. That's giving them so much extra value here. 3 and 4. So that's odds. That's 3, isn't it? Okay, let's go for odds. I think the Castle Lock Thwain is going to be quite nice as well. Help us draw into stuff again. Although the Virtue of Persistence... Oh, there's so many choices. But they've got so much life, and they're going to reclaim so many cards back with the Niv. It's going to be very difficult. Oh dear. What does that one do? Pay 3, return critical from your graveyard to the battlefield. Well, they haven't got any, have they? And then we'll be exiled. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And that's 9 for the Niv. Revels. The Territorial Carvu, which gives them a small creature. Deathrite Shaman. Okay. And that is apparently a 5/5. Oh, this is quite a crazy game, I have to say. The haste from the arena is so infuriating as well. Let's slow down there. Blockers a bit. I kind of like Liliana here because it's going to make their Niv smack into her.
Those who get in my way tend to regret it.
And we can also empty the last card from the hand.
Hated crowds.
And you know what? I'm actually going to use the Virtual Persistence, I think. And to 11. So we're actually in a fantastic spot here, guys, because even if they do give it as Niv, and even if they do give it haste, they're not going to have any mana to do much else. And then meanwhile, whilst all that's going on, we can go in and hit them. Okay, Jolly Balloon Man, that's very powerful because it can just start flickering that. But as I said, they don't really have any mana, so this would be a good time to...
It's no fun when they hit back.
what can we get? Oculus. I think that the Oculus is the correct choice, isn't it? Stifle. We can actually stop the Niv Mizzet trigger when he comes down again. That is going to be excellent, isn't it? So we can go for Nicol Bolas. Kill Niv Mizzet Reborn. And I think we just win because we've got 9. Yeah, we've got 9. Oh my goodness, that was quite the battle, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. It's very difficult to navigate around a nigh infinite supply of cards. We were very lucky enough to also feeling like we had stuff. I think Titans are just really effective. Aberrant Oculus, there's a reason this card's $30 in real life. It's so freaking pushed. It's crazy levels of power. And yeah, I feel like we got kind of lucky there considering how many cards he would have had, but damn, that was a very good game. Thank you, Ridge, for that wonderful game. Hope you enjoyed it too. Did you know that you can help my channel by watching another one of my videos? Go ahead, you know you want to.